In today's video, we're going to talk about the future of the MCU because there is major crisis at Marvel, apparently according to a trade article, Variety.com. It's an interesting article, although most of it has been blown well out of proportion. Most of it is hyperbolic, and I've actually spoke about most of the stuff in this article over the last year or so, and so have a lot of other Marvel pop culture-based creators online. So, yo, what is freaking good, YouTube? What's you here if you're new around and make sure subscribe to never miss any Marvel, Gaiju, Monsterverse, DC content I try to cover personally myself on a daily basis. If you could, subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, and let me know. Is Marvel dead? Is Marvel buried? Because realistically, if you look at the box office, since 2019, since Endgame came out, they've only missed a handful of times, and even when they have missed, they've made more money than I guess you could say their competition, which is DC. Also, check us out on Instagram at Warstu to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice. Check us out on Twitter, RDJ or X.com. So this has got a very punchy headline. Crisis at Marvel. Jonathan Majors backup plan. The Marvels reshoot, reviving original Avengers and more issues at Marvel. Right, so let's just break this down without even going into it. So let me get it straight. You're going to set up Kang throughout season 1 of Loki, season 2 of Loki, also set up Kang in a movie for the multiversal saga. We're not even halfway into the multiversal saga, but they're gonna bring in my boy Victor Von Boom, Victor Doom, Mr. Doctor Doom. I mean, Doctor Doom has to be in Secret Wars, but I think a lot of this article is very hyperbolic. There is some substance here. I mean, it's interesting when we find out the Marvel reshoots were actually 4 weeks long, and the reports that said it tested really bad were true, and all the scoopers were saying, oh my god, it didn't test bad, it tested so great. Reviving original Avengers, Robert Downey Jr. made over $100 million for his part in Endgame, so they're gonna pay him that to return? No, it's very hyperbolic. It's interesting. It's a fluff piece, basically. So, this past September, a group of Marvel creatives, including studio chief Kevin Feige, assembled at Palm Springs. We know this happened for their annual retreat. Most year, the vibe would have been confident, even cocky, given how the premier superhero brand owned by Disney since 2009 has made the entertainment business in its image. But this occasion, everyone at Marvel was reeling from a series of disappointment, on-screen a legal scandal involving one of their biggest stars, and questions about the viability of the studio's ambition strategy to extend the brand beyond movies into streaming. The most pressing issue to be discussed at Retreat was about Jonathan Majors. So interesting, because he's a really pinnacle part of Marvel. They're setting up the whole Kangs around him. I mean, to be honest, it was stupid to set up a whole saga around one character, because what they did with Thanos was there wasn't really an actor attached to him when they first introduced him. It was just someone was Thanos, and we didn't know who was behind it. So it is very interesting. So the court case, high-profile trial in New York later this month on domestic violence charges. Like I say, I'm not a lawyer. No YouTube channel should discuss that really unless you are a lawyer. The actor insists he's the actual victim, but the damage to his reputation, the chances he could lose the case has forced Marvel to reconsider plans to center the next phase of its interlocked slate of sequels, spin-off, and series of Major's villainous character, Kang the Conqueror. Interesting. It goes on to say, but executives discuss backup plans including pivoting to another comic book character such as Doctor Doom. Well, if they're doing Secret Wars properly, then the Beyonder and Doctor Doom has to be included anyway. I really think Feige fluffed the bag when they decided not to put Doctor Doom in the post-credit scene for Wakanda Forever, which is still 100% true. So apparently the major issue isn't just the court case, it's also to do with Quantumania, Ant-Man 3 doing so bad, but his stealing performance basically pushed him forward. The franchise's next big thing, season Loki, particularly in the finale, which airs on the night and sets up Kang as the villain for the 5th Avengers film in 2026. I'm so glad this article actually addresses Kang Dynasty, because all the Marvel chills and Marvel fanboys keep going on about Secret Wars, but there's Kang's Dynasty to go. Marvel has truly with the whole Kang angle. Not really, because the way, careful spoilers, that Loki season 2 ends, they could really pivot to any other villain they wanted to. The thing with variants of Kang is Doctor Doom, the Beyonder, anyone could be a variant of Kang. So it goes on to say, one top deal maker who has seen the finale, said they haven't had an opportunity to rewrite until recently because of the strike, but I don't see a path on how to move forward. Beyond the bad press for majors, the brand trust at Marvel is really messed up, basically. With Marvel's coming out later this month, the sequel to Captain Marvel 2. Interesting. A lot of this is hyperbolic. A lot of this is actually throwing him under the bus. A lot of this has been public knowledge for the longest time anyway. This is all unprecedented turn of fortune for the company that has enjoyed nearly a decade of greatness since Iron Man. Okay, I'm kind of like paraphrasing and breaking some of this down because this is a really long article and there really isn't much substance. The Marvel machine was pumping out a lot of content. Did it get to the point where there was just too much content and people were burnt out? Sure, but it's to do with the story point and narrative. They did introduce new characters and new movies, but people weren't interested. Because if you look through the numbers, okay, Black Widow, under 400 million, Shang-Chi, just over 400, Eternals, just over 400. They all came out in 2021. People want to blame the pandemic for that. Really? I mean, Far From Home came out just after Endgame, 1.1. But then you look at Doctor Strange 2, 950, Thor Love and Thunder, 760, Black Panther 2, 850, Ant-Man 3 is the only real big fluff here, and then Guardians 3, 850, which is probably their biggest movie in recent years, but let's be honest, that marketing was pretty well done. So, it goes on to say, the Marvels is going to struggle to make money. Also goes on to say that reshoots took 4 weeks. The director left the project during post-production, which is uncommon for if you're directing a $250 million movie. It's kind of weird for the director to leave. Interesting. The Marvels seen its release date move back twice. Wants to swap place with Quantumania, which was deemed further along. Again, its debut shifted again to November, but the extra time didn't necessarily help. In June, Marvel, which traditionally only solicits feedback from Disney employee, their friends and family took the uncharacteristic step of holding a public test screener in Texas. Audience gave the film mid-reviews. Yeah, and we reported on that and people said it was fake. But Marvel has never been in the business for average. Kevin's real superhero power has always been in post-production, interesting, and getting his hands on movies and making sure that they finish strongly, the source adds. Fiege declined to comment. Fiege isn't the only person showing signs of strain. Marvel's entire VFX team, including staffers and vendors, is struggling to keep pace. Yeah, because if you're going to reshoot the end of Ant-Man 3 a month before it comes out and you want finished VFX, it just ain't going to happen. Interesting. A lot of this article is fluff. It is fluff pieces, to be honest. And most of it is common knowledge. There's just a few tidbits that I find very interesting. When it goes on about the so-called bad VFX we see was because the half-baked script says one person involved with She-Hulk. That is not Victoria, that is Kevin, and even above Kevin. These issues should be addressed in pre-production. The timeline is not allowing the Marvel executives to sit with the source material. So it goes on to briefly discuss the MCU Rain book by Joanna Robinson. But I find the more interesting parts is when it talks about what Marvel were going to do or what Marvel are essentially trying to do behind the scenes. But a lot of this, to me at least, doesn't really make much sense because every single YouTuber under the sun has been saying this kind of stuff. So Robert Downey Jr. is going to return. So is Chris Evans. So is Scarlett Johansson. Okay, cool story, bro. So the biggest issue of Marvel movies is the production cost is too high. So Robert Downey Jr. made $75 million for Endgame. And he also got a rumored 8% back deal, earning him $55 million. So he made over $100 million for Endgame. So do you really think Robert Downey Jr. is going to return for Secret Wars or any other project to make less money? No. When you're an actor, your value goes up, not down. Not only that, I don't think his age is a factor, but Robert Downey Jr. basically said he was sick and tired of playing the role. He's almost 60. Nearly half of the production cost would have to go to him. And it's very hyperbolic, this whole article. Because now people are like, yeah, Robert Downey Jr. is going to return and he's going to play Doctor Doom. And nah, I don't think that's going to be the case. If Robert Downey Jr. returns, if Scarlett Johansson returns, if Chris Evans returns, the budget for this so-called Avengers movie is going to be so high just based on that alone. So Variety, it's a aggregated piece over behind-the-scenes information for the last 2 to 3 years. It basically comes down to bloated budgets, bad VFX. Although I think the Kang storyline is very interesting and it's very pinnacle to the multiversal saga, I think pinning a whole saga on one villain wasn't really a good way to go. Variety is just jumping on it without any real sources. It's all right to say, yeah, Marvel exec said this, but who? I want a name. So their plan isn't to revive dead characters like this article has you believe. It's really to bring Tony Stark back, bring Black Widow back, and bring the real Captain America back for Secret Wars. They're not planning to bring them back long-term like said article applies. And like, I get it. I understand how the internet works. I understand how YouTube etc. works. You'll see a lot of YouTube videos, TikTok videos, claiming they're bringing back Robert Downey Jr. long-term. But that's not what the article says at all. And then you get, can we get some toast who's the same person as My Time to Shine? A lot of people don't actually realize they're the same person. Coming out with some absolute nonsense for revenue. Robert Downey Jr. has agreed to come back 3 months into a writer's strike. He's already signed. He's agreed to come back. But did you know this information before this? So if this is the case, and this is why you got to look what Twitter Scoop is saying right now, because everything they're saying now, homies, you should have said this a long time ago. And then information comes out, oh, Toby Spider-Man, Hugh Jackman, Wolverine will be leads in Secret Wars, okay? Why didn't you say this months ago? Oh, wait, you did say it months ago. And it's all nonsensical. It's like, yeah, Marvel executives have begun to reconsider their plans for Kang, and they're going to pivot towards Doctor Doom. Homies, Doctor Doom was always going to come. There was always a plan for Doctor Doom. The thing is, we are not even halfway into the multiversal saga. And although most rumors and scoops are made up, it's pretty easy to really make up what they're doing and guess where they're going because they've got to somewhat loosely stick to what happened in Secret Wars. So you know that every single character and villain is in the Secret Wars. You can even go as far as to say, yo, Magneto to be in Secret Wars, Galactus to be in Secret Wars, but the whole X-Men to be, you know, you get where I'm going with this? So it is cute that Can We Get Some Toast and My Time to Shine, they try and come out with these things, and for the most part, they do trick the general public on Twitter, but realistically, it's kind of nonsensical. In Avengers Secret Wars, Toby Spider-Man, Hugh Jackman Wolverine will be Lee, and Tom Holland Spider-Man is the chosen one for the MCU. Yeah, we can all guess where this is going, but it gets even more interesting. So, according to said article, the Blade movie got revealed at San Diego Comic-Con back in 2019. I was sipping some strawberry daiquiris in Mexico, Cancun, when this news came out. And it's gone through multiple script changes and multiple changes because this is interesting. So, project has gone through at least 5 writers, 2 directors, and shut down 6 weeks before production. In one version, Blade's daughter was essentially going to take over. And Blade, so it's a female-led Blade movie, and Blade was actually relegated to the 4th lead of a movie when he is an award-winning actor. To keep Mahershala Ali on board, Kevin Feige has hired the Logan writer, which is the greatest superhero movie ever, I don't care what you say, to work on a new script. The film will move forward with a budget of less than $100 million, a big departure from their usual big spending habit. So, realistically, Marvel movies, if they're not CGI VFX heavy, they don't need a huge budget at all. So although this is bad news that's come out, all this kind of behind the scenes drama, it's actually good news, but none of it's actually being confirmed by, you know, Kevin Feige. I don't really care where it's coming from. Variety, I mean, they post made up stuff, just like Scoopers. Oh, but they're a Hollywood trade and you've got to trust them. Okay. This article literally says what every made-up wannabe Twitter scoop has been saying for the last couple of months. Sure, I report information because, you know, there's a half chance it could be true, half chance it's not true. It does seem that Kevin Feige is very worried about the Marvels because, careful spoilers, to actually reveal the post-credit scene and reveal the X-Men, well, X-Men kind of appear in the post-credit scene, to reveal the incursion in marketing is freaking wild. And people are like, yo, what's due? If this happened to DC, you wouldn't say, yeah, I did say a thing. I went heavy at DC, but you're not criticizing Marvel because I don't realistically see anything wrong here. I think they made a big mistake by associating a actor with Kang. It should have just been faceless until the big reveal. I think they went in the wrong direction with Kang losing at the end of Ant-Man 3, although he didn't, because most people misinterpreted the ending. But after Loki season 2, you'll realize that Kang the Conqueror didn't actually lose in Ant-Man 3. So it's a very hyperbolic article, and you'll see a load of clickbait videos and a load of clickbait TikToks going, oh my God, major news being dropped, and all this kind of stuff. Just type in like Marvel in YouTube and you'll see what I'm on about. But that's why I didn't jump on this video last night, because realistically, there realistically isn't much new in it. Blade's reboot, shocking news. No, because all this information about Blade basically not being happy with the script. When I say Blade, I mean Mahershala Ali, because he wanted to walk away, and he's such a highly precedented actor that he could walk away. Now, if they are going to bring Dr. Doom in, Cillian Murphy, no other actor is good enough. I don't care what you say. Cillian Murphy, I don't want Robert Downey Jr. to come back as Dr. Doom. Well, Robert Downey Jr. could come back, and he could be a variant of Kang, who could be a Dr. Doom, and that's the way they can pivot away from it. Just because Marvel has a backup plan, kind of, doesn't actually mean that's the way they're going to pivot. If Jonathan Majors wins this court case in 2 weeks, I think it is, they won't change the storyline at all. They're setting up so much in Loki season 2 to the point where Kang has to be a major part of the multiverse saga. We're not even halfway through it yet, and people are already... This is what I mean when I said Marvel fans are very spoiled and very entitled. Because people are like, yeah, we want Robert Downey Jr. back. Why? What possibly can they do? Let's bring the Tom Cruise Iron Man in. There is no point bringing him back, reviving him. I mean, if you're to type in like Iron Man on YouTube, you'll see some very hyperbolic articles. And realistically, I understand the YouTube game. I get it. I really do get it. But at the same point, if you actually read what the article says, it says they are thinking. Thinking. You know what thinking means? It means there's an idea out there. They shouldn't really, I mean, if this information is true, they shouldn't really be putting the idea out there. So just put Iron Man into YouTube, right? The idiotic return of Iron Man. Disney's insane plan to fix the MCU. So let me get it straight. They're going to fix the MCU by bringing Robert Downey Jr. back, even though he's nearly 60. So what they're going to do, have him around till he's 70. No, they're not going to build the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe around him. We've got the Fantastic Four come in. We've got the X-Men come in. Marvel is in talks to bring back Robert Downey Jr. What? During an actor strike? How the freaking hell can they be in talks to bring someone back during an actor strike? Okay, you get my point. There's loads of YouTube videos talking about this. I get it. It's a very interesting topic, but realistically, it's not true. They're coming back for Secret Wars. It's a very hyperbolic article. I mean, I do agree. Dr. Doom should be the overall villain by the time Dr. Doom and Beyonder by the time we get to the end of Secret Wars, which is most likely going to have to be split into 2 different movies. I'm not throwing shade at any other person that's talked about this article, but let's be honest, it does not say they are returning full time. It says they are thinking. I mean, I'm from the country called England. I don't know what the word thinking or that kind of what it means in your country, but when something says thinking, that does not mean it's confirmed or verified or anything like that. I just find it very hyperbolic the way people are going on about it like it's confirmed. No, it's literally going to be for Secret Wars, and that will be it. So Marvel has recently talked about bringing back the original cast of the Avengers movie, which include reviving Iron Man and Black Widow, but the article doesn't really say that. It says they're thinking about bringing them back. The whole purpose of a multiverse is they could bring RDJ back in a different role from a different universe if they wanted to. So very hyperbolic. I honestly think this is a good thing this has come out. And it also does confirm that when rumors come out, it's true, because we reported a article that basically said the Marvels was in an absolute disarray and mess and people hated it. And this article basically confirms that 4 weeks of reshooting is insane. So like always, guys, I'm here to tell you what I think is the truth, not what you want to hear. You want to hear, oh, Robert Downey Jr. is coming back. It's confirmed and verified. Dr. Doom is definitely returning. Well, he can't return because he's never been in the MCU thus yet. No, these are ideas. It could be cool. Yeah, bring RDJ back if it makes sense. Bring Dr. Doom into the Multiverse Saga if it makes sense. Bring Warstu in as an actor if it makes sense. So like always, guys, check us out on Instagram at Warstu to see the beautiful place, one of the beautiful ways. Check us out on Twitter, Warstu, and I'll catch you in another video, guys, very soon. Catch you later.